Hi, this is Mike Sayre from Customer States. If you want to use the best quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw to performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, maintaining that tractor that you love so much, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of HIT Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we need for our specific applications. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust. So you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, coupled with Justice Brothers' 40 years of experience supplying automotive products and over 75 years in the racing industry, you certainly have everything at your fingertips to get the job done. And did I forget to mention that Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA and that they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back? Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. But don't let me talk your ear off about it. Talk to my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818 or visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. All right, guys, welcome back. We made it to another Friday, so you know what that means. Crack 'em.
Do I do this?
Yes,
that
you
it?
do.
All that
Hashtag sell the bell.
Sell that shit.
No spillage.
All
Don't
right,
worry, I'm
guys.
holding back. Not going full force yet.
Welcome back, and thank you again for joining us for another edition of Customer States, the podcast where we talk about everything in the automotive industry. My name is Mike Sayre. I am senior master technician, shop foreman. I've been in the automotive industry for about 20 years, and joining us today, as always, is the warranty wizard herself, Allie Paul.
What's up, guys? This is Allie. I have been a warranty administrator for 10 years now, 2 different manufacturers, and making it work. To my left is the ever amazing Jake Rikus. I was going to do the mouth noise version, but I think that.
Welcome, guys. Episode 13. Jake Rikus, as always. I have been in the automotive field since I was a wee tyke. Been doing service advising for a little over 3 years now, and trying, to just smile and keep it going. To my left is the hassle master, Kev.
Hey, what's up? Just
Hassling the masses.
hassling the masses over here. Yeah, I haven't done shit in the automotive industry.
That's not true.
You could say you're mastering the hassles.
I am mastering the hassles. Yes, this is true.
Caused a few aneurysms in your day.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't get the, oh, hi, welcome back.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hassles,
Yeah.
This
How
episode
was
sponsored
your
by
week?
Truly Original Lemonade, by the way.
oh, I thought you were going to say. By the way, this particular flavor I have not had yet. Truly
Original lemonade.
black cherry lemonade is what I have.
Oh, you have black cherry. I have
And
original.
It's delicious. It's definitely my favorite
All
so
right.
far.
No more free advertising until we get money from these people. We're trying very hard.
So, anyways, speaking of hassles, how was your week this week?
My week was actually pretty stressful, and not to mention the fact that we're having like almost triple digit heat numbers. I'm still backed up because the next closest dealership doesn't have like a transmission technician or department or anything like that. So I'm getting all the stuff literally towed in from another dealership.
Wow.
So I'm servicing at least 2 areas worth of cars. And then on top of that, my current trainee, Andrew, is at training, which he, spoiler alert, passed his Block 2 electrical exam. So a little bit of congratulations to Andrew. Congratulations, buddy.
Are you talking about Galpin?
No.
We don't say names here.
Yeah, we don't name names, but it's definitely not that one.
Gas.
Schmalpin.
Yeah, gas.
But yeah, so
That's a technical foul.
yes, it is a technical foul. In addition to having a really stressful week just with a normal workload, today as I was trying to leave, Friday, granted, trying to leave early, get here, get everything set up for the podcast and stuff like that. We all try to scramble to make this work, literally after hours on a Friday. And
Yeah, we put a doggy door in before we got here.
Oh dear God, we'll get to that.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
So I'm literally packing up my stuff and I get called up to the service drive. Hey, there's a customer that we put a transmission control module in, and the customer is complaining that it's still doing the exact same thing. Okay, so I come into the service drive, and it's this father and son, and they're telling me how on their Focus they had a transmission control module replaced, and it's still doing the exact same thing, and their mechanic that they go to says that it's still got codes in it to replace the transmission control module. I say, okay, well, that's kind of rare because, our technicians drive the vehicles afterwards. And we certainly wouldn't have given you a vehicle back that wasn't working properly. My service advisor informed me that you guys not only declined the engine oil leak repair, but you also declined replacing the clutch in the transmission because the clutch was bad. So blah, 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 blah. So he tells me, oh, well, our mechanic says there's a code in there and it should still be covered under warranty. So, I want you to take a look at it. Okay, well, we don't do free code scannings, things like that on the service drive. We're not AMCO or whatever.
O'Reilly's.
Hong Kong.
So I go and grab my scan tool, and I, they walk me out to their car, and plug the scan tool in, pull codes. No codes in it, and the guy's standing over my shoulder the whole time. And I show him everything on here says pass. What does that mean? I said, well, it checked
What
the
does
module.
that mean?
The module says it's good.
Don't you have a mechanic?
Yeah. So he's telling me, well, the mechanic said there was code in there. I said, well, if the mechanic said there was code in there, chances are he probably wouldn't have cleared it because you were going to obviously bring it back over here to, have it repaired. So that, wouldn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. So there's obviously no codes in it. I can't tell you what was being said about that. But the fact that you're complaining about a shutter on acceleration and there's no codes in the computer, and we recommended a clutch to you last time because we did the testing for that, and you declined the repairs, leads me to believe that the clutch is still a concern.
Yep.
So
Inconceivable.
yeah, when you decline a repair, and you've essentially tied my hands behind my back to help you fix your vehicle.
Phrasing.
Play that
You've
one
been
again. What did
waiting
that
to
say?
use that one.
Phrasing.
So I'm trying to explain to the customers that when you tie my hands behind my back and
That's how you get free stuff.
yeah, you force me to not fix your vehicle properly, and then you come back and tell me that your vehicle is still not operating properly. Well, yeah, obviously, duh. So as I'm trying to explain to the father, because the father's in control, and as I'm trying to explain to the father how the transmission works and how it's different than normal conventional automatic transmission, and how it's more similar to a manual transmission, things like that, and the father's starting to understand all of a sudden the son says the first word ever out of this whole conversation, the whole time that I've been talking with them. Oh, we're done here. You've been extremely rude and unhelpful, and I don't like this tone, and we're just done here. We're going to go take it back to our mechanic. So I kind of look at the dad, we both look at each other puzzled, and the dad looks at the kid, and, I start talking. I said, well, I'm merely just trying to explain to you how the vehicle works, and that the fact that you guys declined the repair that would have probably fixed this vehicle, and, declined that repair, went back to your mechanic. Your mechanic told you one thing because he's not a senior master technician.
Yep.
He doesn't work on these vehicles all the time. I've been working on these vehicles since they were brand new. I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of these. We've told you what you needed to do to fix the vehicle. It doesn't work, and now you declined the service. Then you come back to me and say, well, my vehicle's still messed up. Yeah, you declined the repairs that we wanted. So just for them to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about and that I was being rude, I have maybe twice before heard that from customers when I have experiences with them, but that's abnormal.
Yeah.
I talked to a ton of customers. I talked to probably 5 different customers a day, difficult customers.
Yep.
And always am able to smooth things out. And it was the exact same thing. I was able to help the father who was footing the bill for this POS car.
Yeah.
I was able to help the father understand, but when the kid realized he wasn't going to get anything for free or get his car fixed for free,
Well, and that's it.
chimed in and,
Yeah, that's
there's
that's how it always goes.
What the hell is that?
I think
Does
the-
anybody else hear that?
I think
Yes.
it's the egg timer.
Is that the egg timer?
Eggs are done.
So
Cookies
that
are
was,
done.
it's a Friday. I'm trying to get out. It's super, trying to leave early so that I can come and make all this, stuff happen. We all try to do our part.
Yeah.
And then I get hit with that, telling me I don't know how to do my job because some independent shop mechanic that
Yep.
you trust for whatever reason doesn't know as much as me about your car and then lie to you about it to try and make me, look bad. So it really.
And on top of that,
ground my
you've gave
gears.
them
Key.
suggestions.
Keyword there. They can try and make you look bad as much as they want.
Well, and I try to not let it get to me over the years because
That shit builds up.
but
does.
okay, so for every 9 people that you make happy, you make one person you can never make happy.
Yeah.
But that one person makes you feel worse than the 9 people that you made feel better make you feel. So that was extremely stressful. I'm sure you guys have some stress stories from work, right?
Well, and I can relate to that too because it's well, and for me, it's a lot of little things building up, becoming one pretty big dilemma. Like, okay, I have some things I have to take care of here and there because a lot of warranty administrators are
Do I have a
probably
fucking
doing
tumor?
other things too.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jake.
And
You
I
smelling
don't hear
toast?
anything.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I said, I think it's just the brain cancer.
And you've got things like you, Mike, that build up on top of everything else that you're going through. And so I'm trying to get rid of all this e-waste at work that has somehow become my responsibility.
Before you,
It's a pain in the fucking ass.
before you continue your story, you do have a bit of an issue of being a pleaser, which makes your life a little bit more difficult.
Well, and there's a lot of things going on right now. I mean,
Fair.
So in my personal life,
To be fair.
Oh, yes. Love me some Letterkenny. Love me
good.
some Letterkenny.
in the style of customer state.
To be fair.
Yeah, because you've got
Nothing but
personal
pull your
stuff.
finger out of your ass.
Use oh my god, personal stuff, work stuff, it all adds up, and it's all these little things for me that just cause this anxiety because it is me trying to do my best, and I always have a set level of achievement that I need to have in my head, and if I don't make that, I'm really, really hard on myself. Like,
What was that meme that I sent you
Nobody-
the other day?
I don't remember. Nobody else. I can hardly remember what I had
Here.
for dinner last night.
It's that one right there.
Oh, what's wrong? I overthought something and hurt my own feelings. Yes, accurate. Totally accurate. 110%. So, that's the part that I struggle with. I mean, if you don't let go of those little things, they build and build and build and build. And then if you have stuff going on in your personal life, like I recently lost my dad,
Rest in peace,
you know,
Steve.
yes, great guy. But that builds. And then I have that pressure in my head that I'm putting on myself on top of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little anxiety provoking for sure.
Yeah, of course.
So, do you have anything like
what do
that?
you got, Jake? What's been stressful this week for you?
Everything. Waking up in the morning. It's been an interesting week with the chip shortages that we've talked about. With people are starting to come back. People are starting to become more comfortable. So we're seeing more customers. They're already pissed off that their cars aren't working necessarily the way that they want. They've been sitting. So, you try and explain that to somebody and they're like, well, my so-and-so car can sit forever and that's completely fine. It's like trying to explain that to somebody it's difficult. So like you said, you can please 10 pissed off people. You can please 9 and then just one, you hit a wall and you do. I get your sense, Allie, where it's like you strive for that level of, you know, you want to make everybody happy, you want to prove to yourself, or you hold yourself to a certain standard, and you know, you take pride in what you do. But it's with the more people coming in, God damn it, man.
What? I don't.
You know what? I'm sick of that. I know you can hear it.
Gaslighting is part of a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I know.
think
Tell
we've
me.
had this conversation. Actually.
But more people coming in, you know, my car doesn't start. This doesn't do that. Why do I have a new car if it's going to give me this problem? And it's like, you try and explain, and it's
People are going to hear what they're going to hear.
right. And one thing that's actually, well, I've got two. We have a lot of people. We've got a new hybrid that's going to be coming out either late this year or early next year. And then following later on next year, it's going to be a full electric. Everybody's coming in and they're like, oh my God, when's the new, you know, hybrid coming in? We want that hybrid. Do you have any pictures? Do you have one here? Do you have one in the showroom? And everything that runs through my brain there is, it's like the people, this particular line has never done US hybrids. So, you know, you can take as much of the model as you want from the UK, whatever. That's all fine and dandy. It's still a different vehicle. They are not taking the UK model and just boating it over and being like, okay, here you go. We've introduced it to the US market. So we're trying to tell people, it's great that you're excited. Don't buy the first model.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
You never buy the first model year of a vehicle.
And
it's kind of a general.
But you also need to sell
Well,
cars.
okay, and when people come in and we tell them that, it's like, you know, it's always a good idea to do your research, do your due diligence. If you're really, really that excited about a car that's going to be released for the first time, just be, you know, prepared. It's a test. It's all like there's only so much a manufacturing company or you know, a car line, no matter who it is, can only do so much. So they will build it to what they think is like, okay, this is going to be a kick-ass car. The people are really going to like this.
What does high score mean?
But with increasing technology becomes increasing issues. So that's what we try and get across to people. It's like, have fun with this car.
Saying monkey. Sorry.
You
Sorry,
good?
excuse me, guys.
Yeah, I was going
Do
to
you have
say.
something in your throat there?
Yeah,
or-
feeling.
That's what she said.
She said.
I
Hey,
said.
Kev, high five.
Hashtag sell the bell. Sell the bell.
Hashtag sell the bell.
So when that's hard to get across to people, it's like, well, I've always wanted this car. Why's it got problems? You just don't quite understand it. But so that's been stressful because we're starting to see more people come in. I love the increased business. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
It makes my, you know, my paycheck better. I like helping people, seeing customers I haven't seen for almost 2 years because of the pandemic. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But then I've got your story that you were talking about the customer and the, you know, family mechanic, and he knows everything and you don't, and blah, blah,
just
blah.
Can't, like, you can't do anything about that sort of a situation.
I had the literally verbatim, pretty much the same thing happened to me today. Super nice lady, longtime customer, super, super nice. She's got it's a 2012. It's an old 2012 hatchback. She brings it in, and to give a little bit of background here, we told her it needed some things prior. So we'll leave it at that. Mm-hmm. She comes in, she's like, hey, I'm, you know, here for just a regular oil change, and my AC's been giving me issues. And of course, with it being hot, we're seeing a lot of that. If it is blowing,
'Tis the season.
if it is blowing a fraction of a decimal of a degree lower than what is optimal nipple freeze temperature.
Holy name are you blathering about?
One Neil deGrasse Tyson's lower than.
Exactly. So if it is even slightly slower, or excuse me, lower, people are in instantly. We're getting constant calls. So we're like, no prob. We'll look at it.
Tis the season for AC recharges.
So I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm like, are the keys in the car? She's like, sure are. So I go out there, hop in, turn the key, and sure enough, a check engine light's on. She mentions nothing. So I'm like, okay. So go back inside. I'm like, okay, so we're doing the oil change, and we'll check the AC for you. And by the way, did you know that the check engine light's on? And she looks at me just deer in the headlights like, what do you mean? I'm like, your check engine light is on. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, I am.
I just looked at the
Right,
vehicle.
I'm
I'm pretty sure that I saw that the check engine light is on.
Right, I'm absolutely positive. And to her favor, she's super, super meticulous about her car. So she notices that. If a check engine light comes on, she's in. So she was like, literally, I did not notice this.
Mother of God.
So I told her, and she's worried at that point. She's like, oh, holy crap, I've been driving around my car. It's going to be busted. It's an older car, but you have the ones who it's like it's their car. They will never give it up.
The baby.
I think you fucking shouted it.
They would rather drop the amount of a whole new car on that one than buy a new car.
Well,
so
it's been with them forever.
Exactly. So I tell her, I'm like, I try and ease her because she's starting to wig out a tiny bit. I'm like, you know what? It's probably just your AC wasn't working. You were probably so damn hot that you just didn't have any chance to pay attention to that. So it calms her down. We run it back. And to go back to this previous stuff that we were talking about, her dad is one of those people. It's like, well, she'll call her dad and it's like, I want it done here by these trained technicians specifically for my car. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but I know it'll be done right the first time. Dad always shows up. She'll call dad. This is what I'm going to do. He always shows up out of the blue once she calls. She'll always call him. So last time she was in, go figure, she had a AC concern. She had a check engine light for something else. And what was the third thing? The AC, the check engine light, and her clutch was acting up. So, I mean, dude, this is... it's almost the same story of what you told. Right. So we told her last time, look, you're going to need a new clutch. It is releasing way too high. You just need one. It's not operating anymore. Or it's on its way out. It's not operating to what it's supposed to. So of course they go, no, it's fine. We'll worry about it. We found last time that her condenser was leaking. We found out that her compressor that was starting to go, and of course the clutch. So it's like, no, family mechanic, we're good. So in today, sure enough.
Thanks for diagnosing it.
So sure enough, condenser is still leaking 100%, all the same spots that it was leaking from. So didn't have that replaced. Same compressor. I mean, no, there's not even any bolt marks on it. It's the original one.
Tool marks.
And third, the clutch is the exact same way. So I ask her, I'm like, did you guys get any of this work done? She's like, well, we took it to the family mechanic and he said to save my money. So all he did was recharge the AC system and it was working for a little bit, but now it's not. And she's like, I really don't notice anything with my clutch, but I can see it's kind of starting to slip. So same thing. I told her, look, you still need a clutch. You need all of this work. We have all the parts here ready to go. It's going to be definitely more expensive than your buddy, but your car will be back to normal. Sure enough, like clockwork, she calls Papa. It's like, well, Dad, I want to do this and all that and this and the other thing and la, la, la. And I don't know. She's like, okay, I'm just going to go sit in the waiting room. She's like, I'm just going to talk to my dad. Like, okay. So I sit back at my computer, help another customer. And I mean, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes passed. And just dad just through the doors. What are you trying to sell to my fucking daughter? I'm like, here we go. And instantly just rage at me. Like, what are you trying to sell? What are you trying to do? Fear. I told you last time I didn't want this fixed here. And I'm like, dude, I'm so tired.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel real bad. It makes me feel sad.
Does it make you feel stressed?
It makes me feel so stressed.
So we're talking about stress this week.
So much.
And
yes.
The reason why we're talking about stress is because we had a message from one of our listeners, Christine.
Great topic too.
Yeah. She and her husband both listened to the podcast,
which we thank you very much for doing so.
Again, thank you. Hashtag
Sell the bell.
She's a service writer. He's a technician.
He's
right?
a technician.
Correct.
Correct. And she was talking to us about how do we all deal with the stress of the job, either the stress that the management puts on us, the stress that the customers put on us, the stress that our coworkers put on us, or just the stress that we generally put on ourselves because we know how the job is supposed to be done.
That's
and
fair.
Being efficient and things like that.
Record a podcast and drink Truly. It helps.
Los chocolates son drogas.
Yes.
So before we start with this whole topic of how we all relieve stress, I want to relieve a little bit of stress of my own. And that beeping noise.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
So that beeping noise that's been driving us all nuts was actually a prank sent to us by the good people at Bayer Ford in Comanche, Texas.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah, so I actually had one at my dealership, and just real quick, I had one at the dealership, put it in the sales tower. Kevin,
Speaking of which,
you want to rip that thing off and throw it the fuck outside, please? And yes, I swore. I'm sorry, but it's really annoying.
Make sure you make
Be
it a
careful,
lot of noise so
because
it
it is
sounds good
full
on the
of
podcast.
confetti. Why don't you hit the bell a couple times?
Dude, did you like fucking e-tape?
It's not even name brand duct tape.
Is it gaff tape or
Is
duct
it-
tape?
No, it's not
Duct.
even. Yeah, it's duct tape. But it's
Oh,
not even,
you're totally fucking vacuuming this shit up.
I said I was going to. Anyway, it's filled with
I got
confetti.
art herpes all over my
Art
fucking
herpes is
Art herpes.
everywhere.
Oh, my, that's such a good name for it.
That's
Art
what it's
herpes
called.
is not allowed in my house, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We're
It's
talking
what-
about glitter.
So
in
my-
case anyone has not
is
connected
it
the dots.
is it
You
my
guys silly?
is
I'm
it
still
my
gonna
piece
send
or
it.
her piece?
Yeah, I put it in the sales tower to annoy the sales dicks, and that didn't work out. And so then I switched over. I switched over into my service manager's office, and when she tried to remove it,
Poof.
the package burst open and sprayed confetti everywhere in her office, and she was quite.
Did she
quite
feel
unhappy.
celebrated?
Yeah, she was.
You know if
She
the,
definitely felt something.
if the if the boys over in Comanche, Texas send us another thing, I'm kind of dead set that they're all a bunch of masochists, and I kind of love it.
I'm
like-
feeling a road trip coming up.
Oh my god. Meet up. Kevin's not at the soundboard.
Oh, he'll be back soon. It's okay. All right. So anyway,
He looked like he was going to press a button.
so the topic about stress. Again, thank you, Christine, and unnamed.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's stressful for Kevin to push buttons.
Thank you,
I'm
Christine, and unnamed husband. We really appreciate you guys listening, and this is a great topic of conversation because let's face it, this industry is
Stressful as all hell.
And so I'd like to actually take a minute and,
Are we meditating?
We gotta pour one out for the lost soldiers.
in a sense, we are meditating because
Pour
we're
one out
going to
for the
discuss with ourselves and our fellow listeners about how we all kind of relieve stress and
shenanigans?
these shenanigans will be had by many. How we relieve stress and maybe that'll help some of our listeners. We had some people write in. We had Raymond write in from El Ranchito Taco Shop. He told us that he was getting back into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Very nice.
We had a couple people. One guy said he likes to do fishing. Another guy says he likes to drink beer on his porch. I don't actually have a porch, but it sounds nice.
You have a patio.
That's
What is that but a back
That is a
porch?
California stoop.
Okay, a porch. Yeah.
Stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop.
Hey, Arnold.
Yeah, exactly.
So a porch is on the front of the house. A patio is on the back of the house, right?
At least you got yes.
I mean, is the
Porch, patio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, I feel like a porch, because this is a super important conversation we should have.
Tangents.
I
Tangents.
feel like a porch is raised.
Don't. Yeah, that's kind of raised. You have to step up into the house.
You guys at least have a kick-ass backyard.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, house.
Where do
yeah.
you see my backyard?
Where do you see my deck?
My neck.
Can't whack it to internet porn
Jake.
like everyone else.
Yeah, wait till you see my
Yeah.
deck.
Where do you see my deck?
Okay. So let's talk about stress relieving. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. Oh, it looks like Kevin was first. Oh, no, Allie, who wants to go first?
Okay. Yeah.
Your job is stressful, Kevin. You still have to deal with work people and stage hands.
The proper terminology of work people.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, I do
stuff?
production rigging and lighting, and sometimes video and broadcast production. So I deal with a lot of unions. I deal with a lot of stagehands, and pretty much every day at work is a new group of assholes I have to try to wrangle into getting done what I need done. So yeah, it's pretty stressful. The hours are long and hard. That's what she said. I don't have that queued up yet right now. But
Oh, come on. What else is your job but pushing
hold
the
on,
buttons?
hold on. Oh my god. Oh wee. Oh, there's one there.
It's gone.
That's what she said.
Okay. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I deal with a lot of people. And yeah, the stress is definitely there.
I've worked with you before. It's stressful.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even doing much. I was just kind of helping as much as I could.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even including the clients, the production side of things. So yeah, it gets stressful. You definitely, you got to learn how to just kind of let stuff, roll off your back and not take it personally.
Yeah, but how do you like relieve stress? Like what do you?
A
do
lot of
to-
alcohol.
No. Let's
was
not
a
condone
big
drugs and alcohol
answer.
on this podcast. Let's talk a little.
we
Dude,
cracked-
we are
big
trying to
answer.
get a sponsorship from a
that's-
literal alcohol
That's
company.
just to maintain the base.
Oh my
okay?
god. we don't condone unresponsible drinking.
There's like-
Responsible drinking is
There's
fine.
like 16 cracks throughout an episode.
Yeah. Well, again, we're all being responsible, not
Well,
irresponsible,
divided by
so.
4.
Mike's all like, "Don't ruin my Christian
Yeah.
podcast."
Well, anyway,
From the only Jew here.
Between Jake and I, we are
make
another
a
full Jew.
Kind
What does
of.
high score mean?
Anyway, yeah. Stress relieving. I mean, like what do you do?
Well, you
like
do work out a lot.
hiking, working
yeah,
out. You hit
yeah.
the bag.
I go,
what do you
I
do?
go hiking. I hit a punching bag.
You like to do projects too.
I do a lot of projects. I just finished redoing the.
That popsicle stick house is nice.
Yeah, that was dope. I just finished redoing the
Hey,
irrigation.
that's Minecraft.
Oh yeah, we saw that out
Yeah,
front.
the
Yep.
front yard. So yeah, just kind of trying to keep my mind preoccupied with other things than thinking about assholes at work or anything like that, or the big crazy stressful project that's coming up or something like that. A lot of physical stuff. So hiking, exercising, things like that.
Like you said, you can't sweat the small stuff for too long.
Yeah, exactly. I've noticed that you can either be right or you can have a good day, or you can let people you can let people you can let
Can you
people
isolate
ruin
that?
you can let people ruin your day, or you can just laugh it off and let their day be ruined. I had a perfect example of that today where some guy thought he was a traffic cop or something and was just in the way, and he parked his truck like a fucking dick, and it was enough of an inconvenience that you had to kind of wait for oncoming traffic to clear, but not so bad that we needed a guy standing in the street not doing anything, making more of a hazard. So yeah, I went flying past him. He lost his shit, just completely blew up in the middle of the street. And as long as he didn't touch my truck, I was fine with it. So I just kind of like laughed it off and drove away.
Yep.
And hey,
Yeah.
The world is full of Paul Blarts.
I feel like that's a really good topic to touch on too, like as far as the stress goes, is for me, it's hard to leave it. It's
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah,
hard.
they always tell
That's-
you to leave, leave your job at work, or whatever. Like,
Well, I mean,
don't
just
bring your work
I
home.
think in general, just
try.
leaving something, just to have an experience happen to you where it's like, oh, that was fucking crazy, and instead of stewing on it all day or thinking how you could have responded differently or how you would have done it, whatever, just that happened, it's done, it's over, nothing's gonna change it. I'm just now, beating myself up or kind of boasting about something. It's
always good to take a step back too
Yeah, you
before
just-
attacking stuff like that.
right. Just take a deep breath,
And those things that you do at the end of the day, like whether you're a creative person or you do something creative or you have a project you're working on or whatever, that's the type of thing that helps you, I guess, for lack of a better word, like compartmentalize.
Well, Ali, so like, what specifically do you do, like at the end of the week or the end of the day or on the weekend to like kind of de-stress?
Before
I am an old woman stuck in a medium
true.
young woman's body.
By the way,
And-
Mike mentioned all these comments in this one. I lose it. Nick S says lots, and I mean lots of drinking and masturbation. That one I've missed.
Thanks, thanks, Smith.
Sometimes you gotta jerk the pain away.
Jerk the pain away.
Isn't there
Holy
a song
crap.
like that?
Wait till you see
What
my
in
deck.
God's holy name are you blathering about?
So I'm an old woman stuck in a young woman-ish body because I like to crochet.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing for me because it's like a yarn meditation.
You made
Yeah,
a kick-ass
course.
panda.
I did. I've made
Actually,
like,
2 now.
cute little different kinds of stuffed animals and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But sometimes that pisses me off too.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. I'll leave and I'll let her do her crochet in her room, and she, watches a TV show. She gets into her own zone. I let her be, and I'll walk in and she's sitting there and she just got this look on her face and she's sitting there and counting her stitches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I have to fucking undo this whole
Yeah, because you
row."
miscounted one.
Exactly.
You made one
Jake
slash
came
when you
in
made an
and
X.
said
you know.
something and fucked it all up.
What?
Yeah, I like to do the whole creative thing for me.
Yeah.
And this is totally part of it too.
Oh, for sure. This is a major outlet because not only are we, doing something that we enjoy, but we're also vocalizing all of our things that stress us out and stuff like that. So like that's kind of the best way I think is to like actually talk about it. If you're that sort of person that can talk about
Right.
Your events, because being able to vocalize it to somebody else not only helps you literally get it off your chest,
Talk to a friend.
yeah, also, maybe it sounds, when I say it out loud now, it doesn't sound that bad. And then it clicks in your head like, oh, maybe there's that. So like, there's a lot of different things that you could do.
And, Christine asked a couple of things besides the facts or the fact of what we do to, relieve stress. She also asked us, it's like money's great, but she's starting to realize that maybe that isn't enough. She's mentally exhausted, stuff like that. She wants to know that what do we do when we get burnt out at work specifically? So not even so much when we leave work to what we can do in our own private place. It's also what do we do when it's one of those days when it's just you really are trying hard not to kill someone. It's
So what the best thing that I found and that I recommend to people that I can tell are about to freak out next
Take a
week?
break,
Smashing.
like we need to do right now.
We should actually take an ad break. So let's take an ad break. We have an amazing new sponsor coming up for you guys, which we'll talk about after the break, after you guys hear the ad. We don't have any spoilers yet for you. But let's go ahead and take an ad break right about meow.
Hashtag sell the bell.
Sell the bell.
Sell it.
If you're ever in the Inland Empire and want some authentic Mexican food from Carnitas de Lengua, or not so authentic, like putting nacho cheese and hot Cheetos on some carne asada fries, El Ranchito Taco Shop has you covered. And if you want to feel like you're eating at home or want to eat in a newly added sports bar with 10 TVs, 18 beers on tap, free play arcades, and foosball for the kids, El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore also has you covered.
That's right. With amazing menu options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even kids' menus, El Ranchito is the perfect location for all your food and entertainment needs. With 18 beers on tap, 10 TVs, a large dining area, and patio, it's perfect for your next car meet or business event. They even offer catering.
Raymond is my personal friend, and when he invited me to come down and hang out, I was excited because I knew there was a good chance I'd get to eat at his restaurant. And I love Mexican food. I usually judge restaurants by their salsa, and maybe I'm weird for doing so, but El Ranchito Taco Shop has some seriously good salsa. Nice and chunky, full of flavor, and not watered down like some other places I've been to. I got the #1 combo, a delicious beef hardshell taco with locally made, fresh and crispy and flaky tortillas, and a mouth-watering cheese enchilada with mole sauce, served with rice and beans. Seriously amazing food.
That sounds amazing. When you visit El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore, California, don't forget to grab some swag like t-shirts, keychains, hats, koozies, and more. Order them online at toasttab.com/Ranchito Elsinore and check them out on facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore and Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore to see pictures and learn more.
And welcome back. Speaking of, hashtag sell the bell. With the whole stress talk, the one thing that helps me is when I eat delicious Mexican food. And those ads really got me hankering for some.
Do you accompany it with a
Cold beverage.
Everyone's scrambling now. That was unplanned.
Ooh-wee.
Speaking of which, new Rick and Morty this Sunday.
Oh, yes.
Free advertising for everyone.
I would be totally fine with free
Just
advertising
kidding.
for Rick and Morty.
Sponsors.
So,
I like Rick and Morty.
yeah. Ooh, that mango's good. So
Aren't you allergic to mango?
No. Oh. No, bananas.
Pineapple. No,
I thought
not
it was-
pineapple. Watermelon.
Don't
Sorry.
put that juju on me, Rick and
I'm
Bobby.
sorry.
Cucumbers, melons, or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Cucumber,
Things that
watermelon,
are
cantaloupe.
high in potassium.
Correct.
Yeah. Kevin enlightened us to this recently.
Yes, very much so. So before the break and after the break, now that I'm hungry as hell, we were still sticking on the whole how we deal with stress, things to relieve it, things that have happened to us, etc. And once again, thanks to Christine, she gave us the whole idea on the topic. So it was great to talk about. She, like she said, she enjoys the podcast. It's all fun and laughs, and the lighthearted side of things. But it's true, there is the shadowed side of when you look, it's like, oh, I'd always want to sell cars. Oh, I would be awesome to be in the automotive field. There's some serious give and take.
This job is no joke stressful.
Yep.
I mean, no matter what department you work in, or even in the independent, it's still stressful. So
now the one thing that I really want to touch on, because it hit me like really at home when she said this. She goes, "Does it get better, or do you just get used to it?" So
okay, all of the above, maybe. I mean,
so
you just get used to
it. I was gonna say, well,
it sucks, but you get.
I don't
used
know.
To it.
Like you've been in it a long time. I've been in it 10 years. That's what she said.
So
you get jaded.
Bottom of the line is, I mean, really, no matter where you go, no matter where you work, everywhere is going to have that issue with it. Whatever stress it carries, whatever line of work. I mean, it's bottom of the line. It's customer service. I mean, he talks to customers. He works on customers' vehicles. I talk to customers. I sell and explain to customers. You deal, quote,
you
with
guys
customers.
Are kind of my customers in a way.
Right. So
very true.
And like Mike said, you do get used to it, but it's not like the same sense of it's like, it's not. It's hard to like.
Can I like?
That's what she said.
Justify it. Give me a bell ring.
Hashtag sell the bell.
Sell that shit.
And to relieve stress is you hit that fucking bell.
That's going to be
that
your
what we
way
call
to
it?
relieve stress at work, is to be able to hit that bell. And
Exactly.
That opportunity for stress relief is coming to you soon.
I think he fucking shouted it.
I mean, I
worry.
hope that maybe it's like a big ask, but I hope that for some people, like listening to this podcast is kind of a stress reliever too. I mean,
Thank you, Will.
Yes. Okay. So Will, one of my techs, came back from, a few weeks out due to health reasons. And he told me, this was a huge compliment. He told me that listening to this podcast like really helped him, and it was nice and relatable. And that, I mean, hopefully with covering these kinds of topics, like it just opens that up. Like, yeah, it's not the funniest, but it's part of building the community.
You're never alone in this. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
These hard times, I mean, definitely it's hard for everybody, and
There's a lot of shit going on
There's
too.
a lot of
like
shit
we all
going
dealt
on.
with COVID, and we were all working through it.
It's been some back-to-back BS, that's for sure.
So Sean said the exact same thing to me. He's sitting in the hospital and he's like, dude, I go and listen to your podcast, and like, this is what helps me get through my day. It's something that I look forward to. You tell me that the new podcast is coming out. I'm looking forward to it coming out. So, maybe this is something that relieves stress for people. I mean, there's a lot of ways to relieve the stress, either immediately when you're at work, like, if you're in a stressful situation dealing with a customer, or
This is a huge thing for me too.
you can't figure out the problem with the computer or the paperwork or the problem on the vehicle, take a walk. Literally, just
Huge.
take a lap around the shop. Depending upon where you work on, we have a whole auto mall. It could be a mile and a half.
Take a long
walk.
poop.
Take a long poop.
Nice.
Take a quarter-mile walk around the dealership. By
Have
the
a
time that you
Snickers.
get
You're
back-
not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah, Betty White. So, I mean, there's simple things that you can do. We can talk about things like meditation. We can talk about
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
we can talk about things like meditation. You need to be able to put on headphones and listen to music and stretch, or when you get home, put on a relaxing soundtrack if you don't have headphones. The only other thing that I can think of other than that is to I guess maybe some of my things that I do to relieve stress. we like to go camping,
Absolutely.
shooting. So I do the long distance precision bolt action rifle stuff. So I mean that takes a lot of concentration and skill and everything like that. So I mean there's just whatever you can do to take your mind off of what you're physically and currently doing at work, and then expand on that
or play your bass fishing game.
Yeah, well, I do like my bass fishing game.
What's that called? Reel Masters?
No, Fishing Planet.
Masturbators.
Oh, right.
Well, no, that's a title
Masturbate.
that I already had.
Masturbators.
But actually, Fishing Planet is a great game.
Okay,
Life
so
is better.
You know what? I have been so busy with everything that I haven't even had a chance to play Fishing Planet, and Kevin could attest to that.
It is a good escape, though.
Tragic.
Well, it
Sometimes
was a
video
good
games
escape.
are good.
But honestly, realistically, this podcast has been a good escape for me. I'm constantly trying to, contact sponsors and get new engagement with the podcast. We're always editing sound bites and stuff that now Kevin can press keys on. It's really great. You just gotta find your niche.
Oh, we have
And we've been distracted.
we have a visitor.
We'll be back. Sorry about that, guys. My neighbor decided to come over and ask me a question about removing bees from her backyard.
There's a bee.
Are you also a beekeeper?
I've been known to dabble in bee and bee accessories from time to time. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the suit or anything.
Do you have an apiary?
No.
Would you like one?
instead we're trying to be positive.
Phrasing?
Yeah, let's stop with the bees though.
Yeah, the bee puns.
I don't know. This job would be pretty stressful.
I wish you guys could all see this. Kevin
Kevin has his
Face palmed pretty hard right now.
baseball.
So you get nothing.
Is it weird that I heard your blood pressure rise?
Right. What were we talking about before?
We're talking about relieving stress.
Relieving stress.
Taking a walk.
Yeah, beekeeping is another thing you can do.
Beekeeping, I guess,
Hobbies.
seems stressful to me.
Hobbies, yeah.
You know what?
RC cars is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have like the little tents.
Shout out to TC.
Tall Cody and the Hizzy.
Cody.
Shout out to TC, man, with your crazy ass mini builds.
Tall Cody.
From
all
the
Cody.
Mojave squad.
What does high score mean?
The Mojave Squad.
He's good people.
He is good peoples.
Definitely.
He's always working on something crazy, and you know what? He's got a growing family as well, work related stress.
Absolutely.
and that's how he deals with his stress, is by building these crazy little 10th scale rock
He's a tinker.
RC rock crawler builds. Yeah.
I want more of those little detonators that he has.
No.
Those are awesome.
We don't condone illegal fireworks.
No. I'm talking about when you're in a state that allows you to do that. Of
I don't
course.
know. We certainly didn't blow one up in our backyard, and I certainly didn't feel bad about it because I thought that the cops were going to get called.
Shenanigans?
Yeah, that definitely didn't happen.
To go back just super quick to the whole beekeeping thing.
my God.
No. This isn't puns or anything. This is about the whole Thank you. The whole stressful thing about that. I see videos of these people who like keep bees, and like, I don't like things that fly, bite, sting. Not really afraid of them. I just don't like anything that can fly at me and then hurt me.
Attack, dive bomb.
Right. So when I see these videos online, because the whole beekeeping craze has kind of gotten kind of big,
TikTok.
you see people wearing no suit, and like there's this chick who's popular right now where she'll find like wild bees that are inside of somebody's like, wall or something, and she goes to remove them, and she uses her bare fucking hands to scoop out hundreds of bees.
And she's chill as shit. She's not
Like
stressed at
she
all
makes
about this.
mittens of bees.
What?
And she just puts them inside of a new hive.
No.
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
show you.
Yeah, I'm getting creepy crawlies just thinking about her whole arms are just covered in a sleeve of bees.
Yeah, like bee or like
bee.
ant or something like that. Doesn't really
Shout
freak
out
me
to the Black
but-
Eyed Peas. I'm a bee. I'm a bee.
But if there's like multiple bees or multiple ants or like something like that, I'm gonna want to kill. Like,
Well, there's always multiple ants.
well,
Yeah,
when have you ever
that's
seen
true.
one
It's kinda
ant?
how
What
they
is this? A podcast for ants?
So what do you guys got to talk about? You guys got any pet peeves or anything a little bit more lighthearted than the stress thing? Because again, this is a stress relieving podcast recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors.
And
your mother.
And we're still trying to find that one doctor.
Yeah, because he
Not
owes
backed
us.
by the FDA.
Yeah.
Actually, we are backed by the FDA. Yeah, I never heard anything back from them, so I'm
Oh,
assuming
So-
they're good.
Their negative response is lack of
Still gonna
response.
send it.
Well, no news is good news, right? So
There is that.
we're currently not shut down, right? So
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Has anyone gone out into public without a mask on?
Yes.
I did it for the first
I-
time,
dude, I
literally
could-
right before the podcast.
I convinced her. I'm like, she's like, okay, let me go. No. She's like, let me grab my mask. I'm like, no, keep your mask in the car. Walk in to the store and
Yeah.
enjoy yourself for the
It's
first
crazy
time.
because everyone, I mean, there's a majority of people are still wearing their masks because they
Right.
don't want to be the person that's getting the looks. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, they know damn well that like they don't want to be wearing their mask, and they know that
well,
a
nobody
week
wants
from
to wear the mask.
a week from
Yeah.
now, when everyone's gotten over this new
I was
thing,
nobody till I wore
yeah,
a mask.
and then they're not going to be wearing a mask. So
So speaking
You
of
dare
masks,
talk to me, Batman? Sugary sweets?
OSHA still does
Oh
not
God,
allow
there's a pet peeve for you.
employees to take off their masks.
correct. So
Yep.
every store I went into, the
that's-
employees had to be wearing their mask. I
Did
went into,
anybody hear
I
that
did see a
information
lot of
about the
chin
meeting that
diapers, though.
happened today allegedly
Yes,
with
the
OSHA?
17th. Yes,
Right.
Cal OSHA. Yeah. had a whole
Did we
meeting.
hear anything about that? Are they
No, because
easing it? Or are they keeping it the
minutes
same?
haven't been discussed with us yet because there's some eggheads trying to calculate everything going on, as far as I know. But essentially, it's probably still going to be the same. That there were some like weird things going on about you had to be have a certain percentage of your employees vaccinated, to
Right.
have this thing, or you had to have the employees that weren't vaccinated had to wear masks, or then everybody has to wear masks if you didn't want to exclude people, things like that.
Right. Now,
I'm going to assume that most businesses are still going to
require it.
require the employees that are facing customers to wear masks.
Right. Now, how long do you think that'll take before somebody goes, that's discrimination?
I'm sure
Well, it
it's
hasn't
already
happened.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
the-
I'm looking on it right now, and they voted. So if you are vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask in the workplace.
And that is
Really?
fresh live news.
So if
for
I've
you.
had one part of my vaccination, do I get to just wear my mask on my chin? Is that how that
So
works?
now
Just
the
half
one-
on?
There's a definite osmosis effect with the
Nice
mask.
chin diaper, bruh.
Did I make it clear that your job is at stake?
So the one thing that I did read about that kind of irked me, since, the whole COVID thing is pretty much work related nowadays, or, dealership related, is there's two options for your employer. They can either basically ask you, hey, are you vaccinated? And they can trust you, and they can let it be at that point and choose to let you not wear a mask. Or two, as it stands right now, they have the legal right, which I use that very lightly, to require you to get vaccinated to continue working there, or to not wear a mask to continue working there, or they request to see your vaccination card. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I didn't think you could do that.
there's a lot of different options out there for businesses. It kind of just depends on what the owner of the business or
Do you want to get
person in
sued?
charge. Yeah, nobody so we had that option as well. Like, okay, if you want to come in and not wear a mask, then show us your vaccination card. There's no way in hell that we're going to be asking customers to show us their vaccination
No,
card.
that's not right. I don't think that's right to do.
That's one smart person to pull a fucking HIPAA suit.
I still wear my
Yeah.
masks. Around customers and vehicles, things like that. I am myself am fully vaccinated, but it's not only just for the, general safety of humankind, but people still feel a little bit more comfortable about it. And
Yeah.
the people that scoffed at the whole thing all the time, the whole time, well, whatever. They're the people that aren't wearing masks right now. I mean, like I said, I myself didn't wear a mask when I went into my favorite liquor store and my favorite sandwich joint today. It was just like, kind of liberating, and
some normalcy.
Yeah, they were all okay with it. You know, it's like, I'm fully vaccinated. There's signs out there that say if you're fully vaccinated, you know, like I didn't laminate my vaccination card. I'm not carrying.
They actually tell you not to do that.
Why is that?
Because you have to get booster shots and then your shit's laminated and you can't replace the fucking card.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Because you're gonna have to get booster shots because this is all just an experiment.
This is basically a glorified flu shot.
So I have.
Well, good. I'm glad that I'm vaccinated against the flu now.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Congratulations. So I have a general like golden rule about. Yes.
I'm sorry, because I've got tiny size man brain. You know this, so I'll forget about it.
Yeah, go on.
He asked about pet peeves. There was one thing that happened today that I keep forgetting to mention because we brought this up.
Please tell me right now.
We had a guy walk in with no mask today, and he looked at all three of us inside of the office, and he's like, haha, that sucks for you guys. I'm like, you asshole. Just blatantly, he looked, he's like, you guys have to wear masks. Okay, please continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that I follow the general like golden rule. Like if someone is wearing their mask, I put it on.
Yeah, when in doubt, mask out, you know.
Yeah. Whip it out.
Wait till you see my deck.
Wait till you see my mask.
So, wait till you see my mask. What was your favorite type of mask? Did you like cloth? Did you like the hospital ones? Which one was your favorite?
Oh, cloth. Cloth all the way.
I was cloth as well, even though people looked at me like I was a leper.
I don't want to contribute to a bunch of plastic BS all over the place, disposable bullshit.
You know that cloth mask does nothing for our safety?
Well, so I went to the hospital and had like a really fancy, like thick.
It had a vent?
Thick mask. No vents. Like this was like a super thick ass mask.
The vents literally defeat the purpose.
And when I went to the hospital, they're like, "Oh, you have to put on this mask." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, and they handed me like the disposable masks, like with tweezers, and I was like, "Okay, I'll put this on." You know, the other one covered my face better, and like, you know, it was hard to breathe in it, so I knew that it was filtering stuff. But again, you know, I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm just trying to do what everybody wants me to do.
So. Nobody knows what to believe.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
We're figuring this out. I mean, we know more now. That's fair. Science, whatever.
Yeah, people tell me that if I put something over my mouth and nose, like that I can prevent people from dying. That's cool. It would be different if people told me to like take up arms and shoot all these other people. Like, you know, people are trying to like relate it to other different things. This is literally just a life-saving thing. They're not trying to control you. They're not trying to do anything stupid. You know, just put a mask on. It'll be okay.
You know what will also be okay?
What? The products and services that sponsor this podcast.
So you get nothing.
You got anything over there, Jake? Allie?
I'm actually...
Yeah, so I have had the whole thing with... So there was a whole thing going on where I had to like get an action plan that like everyone had to sign because techs were punching in and out for over 5 hours.
Yeah, you talked about that in the beginning.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
So it was a thing. We had multiple shop meetings about it. I was involved. We have a new service manager. He's like, you don't work for me. I work for you and blah, blah, blah. Seems pretty good. Ready to go. We had all those shop meetings. And then today I get an RO on my desk that had 2 flags just run for time. So I should add that we do manual punches.
Right.
We're not on the ERO system because that would be
the manual punches. That was great.
Way too easy.
Super easy.
Way too easy. So there's 2 punches, flags, ran for, it just says time. That's all it just says time. But there's 2. And they're both over 5 hours. After both shop meetings, after everything. Talk about being I was pissed. I literally told my coworker, I was like, I'm gonna go kick some ass right now.
Having a technician do not do what you ask him to or do the opposite of what you ask him to is like an everyday occurrence.
So
it's horrible.
What Jeff said was hilarious.
That's what this is getting
Don't worry,
to.
I'll let you leave it.
So I go down to the tech, and he's a really nice guy. He really is. We've never had a problem. And I hand him I go to the bay, and his baymate is standing there.
Baymate.
The tech that I'm looking for isn't there. So I look at the baymate and I say, he's like, what's wrong?
I love that.
What do you need?
I'm going to start using it
Baymate.
now. I've said it, I think 3 times. Baymate. I've said it 3 times now. I'm going to remember it.
Hashtag Baymate.
So
Rudy, Andrew, you guys are my baymates.
So with the straightest face ever, I'm telling about, I'm pissed. So he's like, oh, what's wrong? People don't see me upset very often. And I'm still lighthearted. But
It's fun when she is upset, though.
So
Because you know you're effed.
you fucked up. So anyways, I show him the RO. He knows exactly what's going on. He looks at the hard copy and he looks at me straight faced and says, I don't know how we feel about this word here, but this is what was said. So I'm just being honest. He's retarded, right? Like just straight faced.
No.
As possible. I didn't know what to do
Everything
with
you're doing
it.
is bad. I want you to know this.
Who she's talking about, we'll call him Stretch, is the one that she was talking to.
Okay.
His baymate, who he is eccentric to say the least. He's been there a long time. He's been working at that dealership through 3 car line swaps now. Mm-hmm. So he's been there a good long time. So
that is
Like
a long
when-
time.
yeah.
When our dealership was Mitsubishi back in the day.
Yeah, that's
And Volvo.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Volvo.
Long time ago.
Yeah, so he's eccentric. It's like he's been there long enough. He's old school. He's not quote quote old, but he's an older guy. So it's all like it. And with him, it's like, of course, he he has a really, really hard time with like naturally stupid, like just kind of that general instinct that some people carry around in that line of work where it's like, are you okay, dude? It's like, are you little airheaded type of thing? He doesn't deal with that well to begin with. So his Stretch, like she said, he's nice, but he's
super nice.
He's nice, but he's a bit of a stoner. He's an airhead, and he's. I'm trying to think.
Listen, we all have good intentions.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I think he's newer to this car line. Am I right?
Yeah.
So he's newer to this car line, so he's learning things. But I mean, some things are just like, what were you thinking? So actually do show him the RO, like just hand him the back with the flags and say, hey, what's wrong here?
Yeah, you should be able to tell me what's wrong and then realize how dumb you are for doing it or how much you misunderstood the meetings in the past that we probably gave you pizza for.
Yeah. I recently found out that he's got like 6 or 7 different welding certifications, like good ones. And I asked him, I'm like, what are you doing here, man? I'm like, some of these certifications, like, I mean, he could become an underwater welder if he wanted to. He could do.
That's dangerous.
I know, but it pays.
According to the commercials, it pays $400,000 a year or more.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry, but if like a little bit of danger for 400 grand a year, sign me up. Danger zone. Lana. But I asked him, I'm like, dude, why are you in the automotive field if you've got these certifications? I'm like, a welder is a lot less stressful, not underwater. I'm just saying, I'm like, go heat some things up and fuse them together and make more money than you're doing here. And you know what you're doing there. It's like, he's good. I really like him. And he's got great potential. The thing is, he's just a little floaty. He's airheaded a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm literally banging my head against a wall with this job because I took the same RO into the service writers. Again, 2 shop meetings. What's wrong with this ticket? What's wrong with it? One person knew. Sorry, Jake, wasn't you.
And that's fair. Hey, to be fair, you got to give me a little bit of credit. I've been pretty much dead from like the neck up today. My brain has not been working very well.
That's fair.
So give me some slack.
Well, at least the legs are carrying you around.
Exactly. I basically just, at this point, I am a literal potato with legs.
Potato.
But I mean, we joked around at the end, like, it is what it is. Like, you work with people, you have to deal with them the next day. If I yelled at him and told him he was a piece of shit, what would that get me? That wouldn't get me anything. So, you know, we're a team. Hopefully they feel that way too.
Right. Well, that's also a good spin-off of the whole stress thing. It's like you just gotta, when it's all said and done, you just laugh it off. It's like it's something that needs to be serious, but you know, it's nothing personal. It's like it's just my job. It's like if we all work as a well-oiled machine, pun intended, it's easier. I know. There's a bee.
So, I mean, it's just, you have to keep going. And it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Always got to power on, power up, power through, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough. This job is stressful, but it gets better.
It's hard.
Or it gets easier.
Or you get used to it.
Or you get used
to it.
it.
Like I said, it's all of the
Thanks,
above.
Christine.
It's not just one thing.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Let us know if this helped down in the comments.
Do you feel like
comment, and share.
Subscribe. The longer you work at a dealership, like, do you feel jaded?
Yes.
Yes. It's hard.
I am going to be honest to our
You
listeners.
don't deserve to feel. You haven't worked there long enough to feel.
You know what type of customer service I was in before this.
Yeah.
I can be jaded.
I still
You can't whack it to internet porn like everyone else. You don't have a credit card.
I still love my job. I love what I do. I love the fact that I work on cars. I love the fact that I get to deal with people, not only technicians, but customers and everything in between. I really do love all that. And the challenges, you know, sometimes it's new, sometimes it's, you know, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. You know, sometimes it's good, sometimes
Thank
it's
you,
bad.
Allie, by the way.
You know,
That's a great one.
Sometimes it's a new problem, sometimes it's an old problem. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of hard to not like, oh, you're like the 17th person to come and tell me this week that you have this specific vehicle with this specific problem and how I'm supposed to treat your car differently than everybody else.
My Bluetooth doesn't work.
The 30 people that made appointments in front of you, you'd have to contact all those people to try and get your car, you know, in today because you're going on vacation tomorrow and you're planning ahead. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, I get jaded at that stuff and I want to help everybody. I really do. But there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many people that work at the dealership and we're hiring almost everybody that can fog a mirror to come work at our dealership. So
I like that saying. Anybody who could fog a mirror.
Yeah, it's hard to find warm bodies these days, for sure.
I can find some cold ones, but the warm ones are tough to find.
Dear God.
You know Jake knew what I was going to say.
Yes, I did. And let's just leave it at that.
Phrasing. You guys silly? I'm still going to send it.
So,
right.
you know, at the end of the day, you just have to be nice to yourself about it all.
Is that the end of the podcast as well?
Yeah, we managed to fumble our way through this one.
Yeah, well, I'm real sorry.
Yeah, sorry to all the listeners out there. This was a real example of falling with style.
This is just proof
falling
of how live
with style.
You know, this is proof of how live things can actually be.
Yeah,
when you record something live.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Hell yeah.
It's perfect. Perfect.
But we still really appreciate all the listens and the people who stick with us even through the
hashtag shout to the bell.
To the bell.
For those of you that are still here.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap it up and give them the end of episode shenane.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. You can always email us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com. That also happens to be our PayPal. You can always check us out on Facebook at Customer States Podcast and Instagram as well at Customer States Podcast. Please go ahead and visit us at anchor.fm/Customer States Podcast.
You can support us there too.
Support us there as well.
Sound the bell.
We absolutely love any of your comments, any of your likes, any of your suggestions. We had the suggestion for this week's topic.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Christine, very much.
CC.
Already told you how to get in touch with us. So now it is your turn to get in touch with us. And hashtag sell the bell is coming. Hashtag sell the bell is coming.
And who wants to be the first call-in guest?
Yeah.
Who wants to be known as number one on Customer States for the first call?
So we now have the ability to have a call-in listener. And if you like us enough, then you'll go ahead and get in contact with us in the ways that we have aforementioned. And when you do, we'll give you the telephone number, which is 867-5309.
Thank you. Goddamn Tommy Two-Tone.
I honestly want to say I was excited. I thought you got a phone number, and I was like,
yeah, right. Like I'm going to say that on the air.
Keep it going.
Yeah, we're a real tight-knit community around here. We're real hip to everything that's going on in the podcast.
So anyway,
thanks again for listening, guys. As always, episode 13. It's been a blast, and thanks for sticking it with us.
Love you.
Hi. This is Mike Serra from Customer States. As a senior master technician with 20 years of experience wrenching, I know how important it is to have the right tool for the job. That's why I call my Matco tool distributor Nick Lowridge. It doesn't matter whether I need a new 10mm socket or some sort of specialty tool for that one unique car I may be working on. He knows what's up. Being a former tech, Nick speaks my technician jargon fluently and can get me whatever tool I need for whatever job I may take on. Excellent customer service, the best beef jerky on a tool truck, and that smile. What more could you ask for in a Matco distributor? Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area. Call him at 805-796-7323 for all your tool needs. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him on the Customer States podcast. Then hop onto your interweb browsing machine and type in matcotools.com to find an authorized Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.